work on 10 essential yoga poses that you can do with your blocks. So go grab them, pause the video and come and meet me back on the mat. So to start, we're going to take one of the blocks and we're just going to place it underneath the bottom. So we're going to come to a seat. So just bringing your bottom onto the block and then just taking your feet nice and crossed, however feels comfortable to you. Allowing the knees to open up wide, allowing the hips just to relax here. Making sure your spine is nice and tall, and drop the shoulders down and just rest your hands wherever feels comfortable. Let's just take a moment to settle in. So you can close the eyes and we'll take an inhale and an audible exhale. And again. Last one. Just take a moment and bring your breathing back to a nice natural rhythm. You can breathe through the nose here if that feels good to you. And gently blink your eyes open. Okay, let's remove the block. And then just take your feet to the long ways of the mat. So just bringing those feet out. Making your legs nice and straight here. And let's take that block and just place it underneath the knees. Making sure that spine is nice and tall. Take an inhale. Chest is forward. And then as we exhale, start to fold over the legs. Bring your tummy towards the thighs. Once you get to your depth, you can curl your chin towards the chest. Let's just stay here for a couple of breaths. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to lift yourselves back up. And now remove the block underneath your knees. Slide your feet to one side and come and meet me in tabletop. Now take both of your blocks and just place them flat ways. And then bring your hands onto the blocks. Making sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are directly underneath your hips. Let's just take a nice gentle round of cat and cow. So dip the belly down, arch into the spine, lift the tailbone, the gaze and the chest. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, round the back, curl the chin to the chest and really feel that opening into your back. Inhale, drop it down. This gives you so much more lift using the blocks. And exhale, round. And again. Exhale. Move with your own breath. Maybe you're going a little bit faster or slower than me. You can also take this into little barrel rolls, rolling from side to side. And take it the other way as well. And come back to neutral. Now turn the blocks so that they come onto the sides. So you can have them at the middle setting or the higher setting if you prefer. And we'll start on the higher setting, and you can also move it down if you need to. And then step the right foot forward. So come into this lunge. You can walk the blocks back so they come a little bit more towards the back hip. This gives you that little bit more height. You can stay here, or you can tuck the back toe, slide that knee back. So it just gives you a little bit more depth into your lunge. Your hands can stay on the high setting. Maybe you take them down onto the middle one. Really pull that right hip back, left hip forward. The blocks give you that added support. A lot of people think using blocks is a beginner way, but it actually helps to benefit your practice because you can get so much deeper using the blocks. I always use them in my practice. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, start to flip those blocks back up to the higher setting. And then push into the blocks, push your hips back. Start to straighten that front leg. You can flip the toes up towards the sky. You can walk the blocks back if you need to. We're going to come into a half split. So if you need to keep a bend in that knee there, you can. We want to pull the right hip back, left hip forward, pull that chest forward. Really feel that deep opening into the hamstring. If you want to go deeper, drop down to the middle setting. You can fold over the leg if that's accessible to you. You could also walk the arms forward more if you want to make it more intense. You could curl your chin towards your chest. Take a breath and start to rebend that front leg. Slide the blocks back slightly as you slide that knee back. Maybe take a few little wiggles from side to side. It might be feeling quite intense on that hamstring. You could also push back towards a child's pose if that feels good, resting your hands on the blocks. Okay, pulling yourselves back up. Let's take it to the other side. So flip those blocks up onto the highest setting. Step the left foot forward. Again, you can just stay here in this lunge. You can make it a little bit more deeper by just sliding that back knee back. And again, you can stay on the highest setting or maybe the middle setting. Pull that left hip back. Really feel that deepening, opening into the right hip. And breathe, don't hold your breath. Let's take one more breath. And then carefully start to ease yourselves out. Flip those blocks up to the highest setting and then start to push the hips back. Again, flexing those toes up towards the sky. Adjusting yourself as needed. Maybe you need to slide that foot forward more. And then again, pull that left hip back. Really feel that deep opening into the left hamstring. You can keep a bend in the knee. You don't have to have the leg fully straight. If you want to go deeper, you can bring your hands onto the middle setting. Again, you can pull the chest forward. And if you want to go really deep, you could fold. Maybe walk those hands forward more. Curl the chin to the chest. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, start to lift yourselves up. Slide those blocks back. And then slide that knee back. Come back to your tabletop. And come back to your child's pose, using the blocks as supports. Okay, bring yourselves up. We're going to come into a yogi squat. So we're going to use the blocks as support. So just come to standing. Place a block in front and a block behind. So take your feet nice and wide so that the toes are turning out and heels are in. The block in front we use for our hands. So push the bottom back like you're going into an active squat. And then use this block and just bring your hands onto the block. Pull that chest forward. You can start to pulse slightly, just trying to get a little bit more depth into your squat. You can place your head down and start to fold while you straighten the legs, and then go back to the bending. This is a great way to try to ease yourselves in to your squat. I know some people find this pose really challenging. Now, if it's accessible, you could start to lower your bottom down a little bit more. And then this is where the back block comes into control, or comes into play. You place that block underneath your bottom. And then you use the front block and bring your chest up. So like you've got a little seat underneath your bottom. This is a great way to find the pose without using too much of the strength in the legs. You might find this to be a little bit more accessible. You could also pile up some blocks if you need a little bit more height. Take a couple of breaths. And another great way to use the blocks in your yogi squat is to bring them underneath your heels. So you place the blocks together and then you use your heels and bring them onto a block. So you might want to use a unit or something to hold on to. You could even use a chair in front of you. And then we make sure our feet are nice and wide, so as if you're going to go into your squat. And then take your knees out. Start to lower the bottom down. You might find this is as far as you want to go. You can use that chair in front. Maybe you can push the bottom back a little bit more. Maybe you can lower down that little bit more. So just go as far as you want to go with this. It just gives you that little bit more height. You could also use blankets or rolled up mat underneath your heels there. And if you are fully comfortable in your yogi squat, maybe we're just going to take it to the middle setting. Take a seat, bring your hands onto the other block and just use your elbows to push the knees open. Maybe take the hands off. Wherever you're at, let's just take a couple of deep breaths. Okay, ease yourselves out with control. So use the block as support. Lift the hips up first. And maybe just take a forward fold, turn the toes in and just fold over the legs. Okay, let's take our blocks and come down onto the back. So lower yourselves down. And then just make sure you've got your blocks near you so that you can grab them. I'm just going to move down on my mat slightly. Okay, so we're going to take one block and we're going to place it in between the knees. And then we're just going to make sure we can graze our heels with our middle fingers. That's roughly where you want your heels to be. And you want to keep squeezing that block in at all times here. So let's take our other block, and then we're going to place this block underneath the sacrum. So just placing it on the middle setting there. So coming into this really nice supported bridge. Just allow yourselves to have a moment here. Just take a couple of breaths. Okay, you can stay here if this feels good, or you can take the block to the next setting. Maybe you take it onto the middle setting, and then again rest the arms down, squeeze that block in between the knees. You can stay here, or you can take it onto the higher setting, all depending on how open your back feels. Maybe this is quite intense. Maybe you want to go back to the middle setting, or this feels good, hang out here. And maybe you don't use that block at all, and you just stay in your bridge, interlacing your fingers, and just bringing your shoulders in that little bit more. Just keep squeezing that block in between the knees. And if you want to come into wheel pose, we're going to keep that block in between the knees there. Lower your back down first. Bring your hands just above these shoulders so the palms come down onto the floor. Keep squeezing that block in between your knees and keep pulling your elbows in. And then we lift up towards our bridge first. And then we take ourselves onto the top of the head. Adjust your hands as needed. Squeeze that block between the thighs and lift the head up. Come into your bridge. You can come onto the toes or keep the feet grounded, whatever you prefer. If you're in your wheel and you want to come out, lower the head down first, and then roll your chin to your chest, lower your shoulders down, and lower your back down. If you're in your bridge, lower your hips back down. Now let's remove the block. Walk the feet to the edges of the mat, and then start to bring your knees together. And just allow your lower back to come onto the ground. And just rest the arms for a moment. Allow your back to neutralize. Okay, so now we are going to come into a supported fish pose. So you might want to come up first. We're going to take our blocks and we're going to create a little like T shape. So you're going to have one block this way and then one for your head this way. So you can have it flat or you can have it up higher if you have neck issues. Okay, so we take ourselves down, back down onto the block. So we want this block to come in between our shoulder blades. So that's roughly where you want it to be. And then this block will be for our head. And then we lower it down. Take the other block and bring it underneath your head. And then just let the legs come forward. Draw the legs together. And then the arms can just come out to the side. This is option 1. Option 2, we take that block away from the head and then bring the head down to the floor. It just makes it more intense. Try to bring the top of the head down as much as you can. And we'll hold for a few breaths. gently blink the eyes open if you have them closed. And just use your feet just to give you that bit of support. So bend the knees. Start to curl the head in, lifting the head off the ground, and then just roll to one side and remove the block. Place your head back down. And now take both blocks and just place them either side of the thighs. Allow the soles of the feet to come together and the knees to go out wide. And then just rest the thighs or the knees onto the blocks. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, start to straighten the legs. And just allow the arms to come down by the side of you. Let's just take our final resting position, our Shavasana. Allowing the body now to fully surrender. Just feeling the benefits of your practice. Noticing any sensations running through the body. You can stay here as long as you need. And if you want to get on with your day, you are welcome to come out any way that feels good. Joining me in a seat. Let's take a breath, inhale, and exhale. I really hope you enjoyed discovering different ways blocks can deepen your practice and be that little bit of extra support. Thank you again to Calvin for this suggestion, and if anyone has any suggestions at all about what they would like to see, please comment below and let me know. I really love to add in things that you guys want, so I'm always open ears, I'm always up for any suggestions. Have a wonderful day and I will see you soon. Bye.